Well, the open house started as an idea. We've been in the building working since early February, taking trash, doing demolition on the east tower, primarily the easy demolition. The hard stuff comes here in the next couple of weeks when we get in and begin demoing the center building, the tower. We've got to do a lot of abatement. This will take about a year. I suspect we'll have close to 300 people in there for the next year doing demo and abatement. And I knew once that happens, the building, for all practical purposes, gets shut down. It becomes a real construction zone, hard hat, people having to check in. I just thought it would be one last opportunity for a lot of people to get to see the building that maybe hadn't been in a while. I get a number of requests for tours. ULI had brought it up a couple of months ago, and that's kind of what started me thinking when ULI said, hey, we'd love to get a tour before you get too busy. And I just told Brooke in my office, I said, look, maybe we open up the building. Maybe we have a couple of hours one evening, and that kind of led to, well, maybe we open it on a Friday. Not everybody can come on an evening. So it really started as just a simple idea, and it really expanded. I would have told you 3 weeks ago we might have had 200 people show up. We lost count at 5,000. I have no clue how many people came through that building. Well, I continue to be amazed at the interest level people have in the building. I shouldn't be by now, but I am. I talked to, 300, 400 people during Thursday night, all day Friday and Saturday morning. Many of them either worked there, a mom worked there, dad worked there. They remember coming there when they were a kid. Ted Shaw, who was one of the presidents in the late 70s, early 80s, came from Tulsa. I got to meet Ted and spend some time with Mr. Shaw, familiar with his name as I am all the prior presidents, but would have never expected that. I suppose this is one of the biggest surprises when someone came up to me and said, hey, there's somebody here that's got a bearing gifts, I think is what they said. And I thought, what are they bringing me? And people who I've never met show up with everything from postcards that they had been collecting over the years that they just handed me to, the bank that we haven't dated it yet, but we think it's probably right when the bank was built in 1931. This has been a family memoir for years. The lady, it was her mother's, and for people just to hand you this stuff and expect you to take care of it was not something I was expecting. I think when we talked about the museum, which is going to be in the northwest corner of the Great Hall, that was always the first piece of the hall that I saw in my head, and it turned out to be the last piece that we put into place. I think once people heard about that, they saw an opportunity. Maybe stuff's been sitting in a box in an attic, in a closet for decades, and feel like that they'd rather have us put it in the museum and show it off than keep it in a closet. So very grateful. Some of this stuff is one of a kind. I mean, there's a lot of things in here that I've never seen, even pictures of, some of the photographs. I mean, a financial statement from September 30th of 1932, which would have been 9 months after the bank opened. They opened the building, not the bank itself, but the building. And when they opened the building in December 14th, 1931, so this would have been 9 months. Never seen this before. Not sure anybody else has ever seen this before. It's a pretty fascinating piece of history, and we have hundreds of these. We haven't cataloged them all yet, but my guess is we have financial statements, at least 2 a year from the year the bank moved. You feel an obligation to my partner and myself and our our team, but certainly once you start throwing the emotional pieces and all of the history and the city's involvement, it's a pretty hefty responsibility I think we've taken on, and it inspires us to do it the best we can do it. I think that what I walked away Saturday morning feeling like is we've got to do this even better than we thought we had to do it.